Amerika. Total German. Amerika.
So, I was supposed to make a guide for Sura. There being requests for some subscribers, but something comes in the middle of this in terms of gameplay that bothers me a lot. Let's talk about it. And the problem is, I've seen some dude making videos, and now and then it's fine. It's a guy playing the class, but don't properly teach anyone how to really play, like a what button I press, something like that. Because when you make a guide, in my perception, you have to teach a potato to fall. Why this? Is because your subscriber are dumb? No, it's because the whole tutorial thing, the entire tutorial thing. You, in my perception, you don't make the tutorial and expect the guy knows everything you talk, and he's always looking for updates. In that case, you don't expect the guy who gonna see your tutorial is a pro player. That brings me what happened in our community recently. Some person make a video with ship, I kinda like, né? Ship gears for making the DPS or tank or anything on Mega. What's the problem? The problem is the honesty and the bullshit behind this. You see a gear and you see a description gear with wrong values. Almost none is equal in market right now. When you see these things, you can't help but wonder, what the fuck? I see these gears, and when I really gonna do the big deal, my damage is very, very low compared to the video I saw. Why? Because this is bullshit. This is a fucking bullshit. The dude make a video, give you idea, and change the gears for something he have best. I don't blame the player for doing that. Otherwise, I know this is a kind of scam. You give a false hope for a new player. I kind of understand why you do that. The problem with this is lying about guesses, lying about Zen expand. This is bullshit. Some dudes trying to be so hard on balance shadows, actually making even bigger mistakes. For a new player, seems like, oh, he's a nice guy. He's showing us he can do this DPS with low budget or with little effort. The guy plays a lot. The guy is an angel. No, dude. He's far enough for that idea. The guy who make this, he's trying to teach you he with lower or middle equipment can do what you can do. It's differently. He's not help anyone. He's fucking with you. It bothers me when you talk about Sura. Sura, from the beginning of Mega, was considered like a super novice. Useless, untalented, a fucker being around. Myself included, and some players like Kaya, we try to make it Sura relevant again. Some things pay off, some things don't. When I saw someone say, it's easy, I make it with cheap gear or middle gear, almost 1 million garnet. Oh, dude, come on, you gotta be fucking kidding with all your community, dude. Oh, for fuck's sake. This is a little clip of Eddie that show exactly what's the problem.
And how many times does 2 go into 3? Think! We are 3! You are 2. Should we tell him?
He's a big boy, Eddie.
There's not enough.
If you don't understand, if you don't get it, what I'm saying is like this. Every single thing I have in my equipment, I have the cost of refine, I have the cost of creation, I have the cost of enchantment. I self-made almost everything on my gear. Almost. The only things I don't made, I think, is the King Smith. I think the cape I use is bottle for soul. Yeah. A cape and lower is bottle for the soul. The rest is mine to make. Fence feather for events. If you are not level above the meta, you can do weekly. So that means you have to buy yourself a fence feather. Discuss, especially today, lower price selling about us is more like oh dude, I'm gonna make it for event is let cost, just spend endeavor tokens and alright. New wave sunglasses is expensive. Even so, we have another gears dedicate. I have self-made it. Today is around 1.5 billion, 1.6 billion, something like that, because I have the soul. But the time I make this shit was almost 2 billion. Almost. I'm not gonna lie. I spent like 2 billion for making and enchanting this. No, I mean, is around. Yeah. I think it's got 2 billion because they fine. I failed so many times for 9 to 10 that BSB included. BSB was 20. That being said, in my perspective, I don't like to lie to my players. I don't like this bullshit. I don't think this is help anyone. I just think this is fuck it with hope of many new players. NovaRO have this issue. NovaRO don't accept well the players in not staff problem. The problem is the community. We are a bunch of households. We are a bunch of tired players. We don't really make the good guy things all the time. Sometimes you just gonna farm and no one bothers me. It's fine, dude. It's fine. You are human. So is that. But the problem is, when I see someone make this type of bullshit, that bothers me a lot. And try to convince me I'm wrong. Just try. Because I see in the other class videos, I see someone even complain, dude, how can you do like 57 times more damage the whole entire game? Because he's lying. Because he's lying. He's showing a type of equipment. In the middle of gameplay, he changed it. You see the buff bar? The buff bar have gems. The buff bar have tonics. None of this is going to calculations. Shadow set revenge. None of this is going to calculations. When you say you make a build less than 1 billion, you lying, dude. You lying a fucking hell. You lying because you excel your your foods, you sell your consumables, you sell everything you have extra for make that damage. You don't teach how to do it. You just show I do with this, you not, you a loser. But guess what? Now we know who are the real loser. So for this bullshit, I just have this meme. Thank you all. Appreciate that.